The first image of the Moon and ANOMALOUS' far side taken by China and ANOMALOUS' chang'e and ANOMALOUS' E4 probe, which touched down on January 2, 2019 January 3 Beijing time. Credit: CNSA. Humanity just planted its flag on the far side of the Moon. China and ANOMALOUS' robotic chang'e and ANOMALOUS' E4 mission touched down on the floor of the 115-mile-wide 186 km von Karman crater Wednesday night Jan. 2. Pulling off the first-ever soft landing on the mysterious lunar far side. Chang'e and ANOMALOUS' E4 will perform a variety of science work over the coming months, potentially helping scientists better understand the structure, formation, and evolution of Earth and ANOMALOUS' natural satellite. But the symbolic pull of the mission will resonate more with the masses. The list of unexplored locales in our solar system just got a little shorter. China and ANOMALOUS' chang'e and ANOMALOUS' E4 Moon far side mission in pictures. The epic touchdown, which took place at 9:26 p.m. EST, 2:26 GMT and 10:26 a.m. Beijing time on Jan. 3. According to Chinese space officials, followed closely on the heels of two big NASA spaceflight milestones. On December 31, the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft entered orbit around the near-Earth asteroid Bennu, and the New Horizons probe zoomed past the distant object Ultima Thule just after midnight on January 1. Congratulations to China and ANOMALOUS' chang'e and ANOMALOUS' E4 team for what appears to be a successful landing on the far side of the Moon. This is a first for humanity and an impressive accomplishment, NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said via Twitter Wednesday night, after word of the milestone began circulating on social media. Congratulations to China's Chang'e 4 team for what appears to be a successful landing on the far side of the Moon. This is a first for humanity and an impressive accomplishment. Pic. Twitter.com/JFCBVSJRC8 Jim Bridenstine @Jim Bridenstine January 3, 2019. It takes the Moon about the same amount of time to spin once on its axis as it does for the natural satellite to orbit the Earth, 27. 3 days. Because of this tidal locking, we only ever see one face of the Moon, which we call the near side. This familiar face has welcomed many visitors over the years, both robotic and human. All 6 of NASA and ANOMALOUS' crewed Apollo missions to the lunar surface touched down on the near side. The far side is a much tougher target for surface exploration, because the Moon and ANOMALOUS' rocky bulk would block direct communication with any landers or rovers there. And on ANOMALOUS' call it the dark side, the far side gets just as much sunlight as the near side. To deal with this issue, China launched a relay satellite called Queqiao in May 2018. Queqiao set up shop at the Earth-Moon Lagrange Point 2, a gravitationally stable spot beyond the Moon from which the satellite can keep both Chang'e and ANOMALOUS' E4 and its home planet in sight. The data flow through Queqiao will likely be extensive. Chang'e and ANOMALOUS' E4, which launched on December 7 and entered lunar orbit 5 days later, boasts 8 science instruments, 4 apiece on a stationary lander and a mobile rover. The lander features the landing camera, the terrain camera, the low-frequency spectrometer, and the lunar lander neutrons and dosimetry, which was provided by Germany. The rover has the panoramic camera, the lunar penetrating radar, the visible and near-infrared imaging spectrometer, and the advanced small analyzer for neutrals, which Sweden contributed. Chang'e and ANOMALOUS' E4 will therefore be able to characterize its surroundings in great detail, probing the composition of the surface as well as the layered structure of the ground beneath the lander and ANOMALOUS' feet. Such observations could help researchers better understand why the lunar near and far sides are so different. Scientists have said, for example, dark volcanic plains called Maria cover much of the near side but are nearly absent on the far side. We do have good imagery of the far side from above, thanks to spacecraft such as NASA and ANOMALOUS' Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. The mission should beam home some intriguing and dramatic imagery as well. Von Karman crater lies within the South Pole-Aitken Spa Basin. one of the largest impact features in the solar system. The spot basin measures a whopping 1,550 miles 2,500 kilometers from rim to rim and is about 7.5 miles 12 kilometers deep. In addition, chang'e and UFOS, E4 totes a biological experiment, which will track how silkworms, tomatoes, and Arabidopsis plants grow and develop on the lunar surface. The mission will also make radio astronomy observations, taking advantage of the exceptional peace and quiet of the far side. Quackio is also gathering astronomy data using an instrument of its own called the Netherlands China Low Frequency Explorer. China and UFOS moon missions explained infographic and artist and UFOS illustration of China and UFOS chang'e and UFOS E4 lander on the far side of the moon. The mission touched down on January 2, 2019. Credit: CASC/China Ministry of Defense chang'e and UFOS. E4 is just the latest step in China and UFOS' robotic lunar exploration program, which is named after a moon goddess in Chinese mythology. The nation launched the chang'e and UFOS E1 and chang'e and UFOS E2 orbiters in 2007 and 2010, respectively, and pulled off a near-side landing with the chang'e and UFOS E3 mission in December 2013. Chang'e and UFOS E4 was originally designed as a backup to chang'e and UFOS E3, so the hardware of the two missions is similar. China also launched a return capsule on an 8-day trip around the moon in October 2014. A mission known as chang'e and UFOS E5T1. That was a test run for the chang'e and UFOS E5 sample return effort, which could launch as early as this year. China also has ambitions for crewed lunar missions, but its human spaceflight program is focused more on Earth orbit in the short term. The nation aims to have a space station up and running there by the early 2020s. Mike Wall and UFOS' book about the search for alien life. Out there. Grand Central Publishing, 2018, illustrated by Carl Tate. Is out now. Follow him on Twitter at @MichaelWall. Follow us at space.com or Facebook. Originally published on space.com.